Good morning, everybody. It's Ben Baker, and welcome to the January 24th, 2018 YourLIVINGBrand.live show. It's 10 a.m. on the West Coast. Good morning. I want to apologize for not being here last week. I was actually down in Vegas speaking at the promotional marketing conference and exhibition. There was 1 million square feet. There was 3,100 vendors. There was 13.5 miles of show floor and about 25,000 attendees. And I was down there speaking on Monday at the conference and was there all week. It was absolutely phenomenal. I was speaking on being unique in the cookie cutter world. And if you're interested, I have posted the video on the speaking section of my website. Now, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Ben Baker. My company is Your Brand Marketing. Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, what do? I help my clients be unique. I help my clients understand who they are, what they do, why they do it, who they do it for, and why people should care. We consult, we speak, and we do workshops on brand, message, market, vision, and value. Now, our speech will be on our website. It's yourbrandmarketing.com, and look under the speakers section. I think you'll like it. Anyway, this week, we're talking to Heather Sharpe. Every week we talk to a different person about what makes their company unique and what makes it different. And Heather is somebody that you absolutely need to know. She is the event planner extraordinaire. She is someone who is extremely detail-oriented, someone who is multifaceted. She's worked on some of the largest events here locally and around. And I think that she has got a lot of information to give you about how to create an event that is going to be unique, that's going to be different, and something that is going to allow you to stand out and be seen as valuable by the crowd you wish to influence. So we pre-record these sessions, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring Heather on board, listen to what our conversation was, and I'll be back to say goodbye in a little bit. So Heather, it is a pleasure having you in the show today. Thank you very much for taking the time. Where are you now? You're up in Kelowna, or whereabouts are you now? I lose track of you.
Well, I'm everywhere. Currently, I'm still in Vancouver, but of course, in the next couple of weeks, I'll be making the move of my domicile. But I am working in Vancouver, in the Okanagan, anywhere that people need me. That's the joy of technology nowadays.
It's a beautiful thing. I mean, you can live anywhere. I mean, with me, I can live anywhere where I can get Skype and anywhere where I can get on a plane. It is amazing. I mean,
well, that's what technology does for us, and it's also what connections do for us. Is we don't need to necessarily be in the same room to connect.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, tell me your story. Let's get into this. Let's get into the meat of this whole reason why we're on the video chat together. It's to tell me the Heather story. Tell me about Heather Sharpe. Tell me about the Sherpa Group. Tell me about where you came from, where you are, where you're going, because it's a great story. And you know what? I want to find out about what you do and why you do it and who you do it for.
Well, thank you, because it is quite a story. And as you'll see, stories and connection are very much a theme with what I'm focusing on going forward. But let me not get ahead of myself. Let me go back for a bit. So we know where we've been, makes sense to where we are and where we're going. I've been in the event industry for close on to about 30 years. And that
started. So you were 5 when you started?
I was 5, yeah.
You were 5. Okay, let's just get things straight.
Very, very young.
Very young.
It was a very organic start to it in the world of theater, studying, the stage and that sort of side, and got my first sort of calling to start working stage manage and backstage supporting events. And then that grew into an ask to produce events and fundraisers and parties and that sort of thing for nonprofits. That grew into starting to work in the community festival area, doing things like Canada Day at Canada Place and music festivals and that sort of idea. And then I had a fabulous opportunity to grow my career by learning the corporate side of things, the sponsorship side of things through my connection with TELUS. I was a senior event marketing manager there for 5 years.
Yeah, and that's where you and I first met.
What's that?
That's where you and I first met. That's
right. That was many years ago.
Yes.
A few years ago.
Yeah, when we were both younger, yes.
When you were 5.
Exactly.
But that taught me so much about the state of the art and best in class corporate branding and sponsorship activations, and how to make the most of the value of connecting with a client or an attendee in an event. And I managed to take those learnings through to a position at the Board of Trade, which taught me more about business and working with top CEOs and top political dignitaries, and working with Justin Trudeau before he ran, and those sort of little good things. And I was able to parlay that into my own company. And having spent a little time in the agency years, I worked for a company called Brand.live here in Vancouver.
Right.
Produced the Honda Celebration of Light, which is the largest event in BC, with over 1.5 million people attending over 3 days. And
crazy.
Huge budgets and lots of moving parts.
Yes.
New Year's Eve Festival 2015, which was the largest in Canada with over 70,000 people attending. I got to do all the big stuff.
Cool.
All the big, put it on the resume, proud to do and proud to be part of things. But then I kind of figured I needed to figure out what was next in my story. What was the next chapter? So I launched Sherpa Group about 4 years ago, which is my own company. And I have a real value add in that I have the ability to do everything a big corporate would do, everything a big community event would do, everything an agency would do, taking everything that I've learned over the last few decades and being able to offer it as an independent, flexible, just very, very nimble sort of self-employed person. So I can do what they do, but for a lot less. And I think somebody's already branded that, so I'm not using that as my tagline. But I'm events management production in the Okanagan, Vancouver, or anywhere.
Right.
That's sort of what brought me to where I am now. But if I may, what's really exciting for me, Ben, is the aspect where I'm going. And I've managed to really put together a very heart-centered business, a business that focuses on things that I'm passionate about. And I think what came up, where that came from, was the aspect that I was ideally looking for a retreat, an event for me to attend. I just wanted to be a guest, right? And I couldn't find what I was looking for. I was looking for something that involved pulling really high value women together. And high value, I don't mean money. I mean like women who have something to share, women who have things on the ball and have an opinion and have something going on.
They got some depth and some meat to it.
Absolutely.
People that are really doing some things in the community or whatever, or business or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, there's a time and place to chat about, lipstick colors or, what the girls are doing or boys are doing in soccer or whatever. And there's value in that at certain stages. But when you get to the next level, you want to talk about more important things. You want to talk about, what's the next chapter in my personal story? How do I evolve? What's next for me? How do you do it? How can we leverage each other? How can we share and connect and support each other, but also have fun? Because I think there's not enough fun. There's not enough laughter. There's not enough games or just, celebrating ourselves. So I created this event called Women's Connection Weekend. And I'm producing that on my own, which is kind of exciting.
Good for you.
It's slated for April 6th to 8th, 2018 at the Hyatt Regency Vancouver. So I'm really excited about that. And building other connecting businesses, all under the Sherpa Group events umbrella. So Women's Connection Weekend will also have a Leaders Connection Weekend. And Connection Intensive. So there's a series of 3, and you can check all the details out at www.connectionweekends.com. It has
Connection Weekends with an S on it?
With an S. So
with an S. So connectionweekends.com.
connectionweekends.com.
Gotcha.
So that is sort of the big direction I'm going. But what's been really exciting is all the ancillary events that now that I'm living with more passion, living in a more heart-centered way, doing events that I feel passionate and enjoy, other things are starting to gravitate towards me, which is really kind of cool. So I have just been accepted as managing director of eWomen Network in the Okanagan. So that's kind of exciting. So it will be my job to connect and bring together high-value women in the Okanagan, so anywhere from, say, Penticton, Kelowna, and Vernon.
Phenomenal.
So we're looking for new members. So if anybody's watching from the Okanagan, check it out at ewomennetwork.com and look for the Okanagan chapter, brand new. Come connect with me and support each other, more entrepreneurial women and in business. So that's kind of exciting. And then to top off this trifecta of my business is Women Talk. I'm co-directing 2 chapters, one in Vancouver and one in the Okanagan.
Right.
Of womentalk.ca. Now, womentalk.ca is a monthly get-together of women who want to tell their story. And what brings it all back, Ben, is the aspect that we value, as you well know, the opportunity to share our stories. And to this point, there hasn't been a lot of regular opportunities for just ordinary women. Like we're not necessarily looking for professional public speakers. We're looking for women that have been through something, have a story to tell, and just, it needs to come out. They just need the stage to do it. So womentalk.ca launches in Vancouver, February 22nd. So womentalk.ca is where you can find out more about that.
Perfect.
And Women Talk in Kelowna launched just before Christmas and is continuing through the new year as well. So no matter where you are, come talk, tell us your story and inspire other women. So,
and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all these websites and I'm going to put them when I post this. I'll put all the websites there. So because there's so many URLs going back and forth here that I'll never keep it straight. So let me do my audience a favor. I'll get all the websites from Heather. I promise, and I will put them right in the post. So that way we make sure that we've got them all for them.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ben. That's wonderful, because there is an opportunity for anyone from just coming and listening to a woman speak her story, or being one of those women, or going to the next level and wanting to network with your business, or just escaping with a grade of high value women. There's an aspect of raising our vibe, and
absolutely
a lot in 2018 about 2018 being the year of the woman, right?
Right.
Women are finding their voices. We hear that in the news now. A lot of women are speaking out about things that they've been quiet about for a long time.
Absolutely. You hear it every single day. So
well, exactly. We need to speak up. We need our voice to be heard, and we need to be able to collaborate and share and support each other in that process.
Absolutely. Maybe we need to get some men's support groups as well, where some men can get together and do the same thing. I'm hearing all these wonderful women empowering groups and places where people can share and have ideas that go with it. I need somewhere besides the bar I can go to be able to have these conversations.
Absolutely. And there is coming, as like I said, our Leaders Connection weekend at the end of September is co-ed.
Perfect.
So we are welcoming, any sort of level of professional who just kind of goes, what's next? Okay, so now I'm the boss of my team, or I feel like I've got a certain amount of professional success, but now what? How do I become a leader in my community?
Right.
How do I become a visionary? And as you know, Ben, that takes more than just doing your job well. That takes either public speaking or writing an ebook like you have, or writing a book. Many people go to writing books or white papers. And we're going to be putting on an event at the end of September for men and women who want to kind of explore what's next in that realm and become a visionary and a luminary.
Well, phenomenal. Hopefully it's not over my birthday weekend. And if it isn't, we'll negotiate. We'll certainly make sure I can get there. So
Well, I'll
that'll
have a
be very
cake for
cool.
you. How's that? I'll make sure I have a birthday cake for you.
There we go. There we go. With lots of candles.
We won't say how many.
No, let's just not say. Let's just say that I'm still on the south side of 50, but barely.
I'll forgive you for that.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. There's something for everybody.
Yeah, so let's dive into what makes, I mean, besides your energy and your passion, your creativity, which are huge in the event management business. It really is. I mean, if you're not dealing with somebody who's passionate, if you're not dealing with somebody who's creative, if you're not dealing with somebody that will sit there and listen to you and understand what your event is about and how to make that event special, I mean, those are things, if you're not dealing with somebody like that, go talk to Heather, because you know what? She will do that for you.
Thank you.
But what are the little things that you do? You know, what are the key things that you do to try to make an event special for your audience and also for the people that you work for? Because it's a tough business. There's a lot of moving parts. And how do you know, what are the things that you focus on when you're going to talk to people in order to make sure it's done well?
Well, ultimately, you need to be very consultative, right? Because what success is defined differently for every client. So it's the aspect of your very first meetings being that communication, that sharing of information, that aspect to sort of go backwards and sort of say, okay, have you ever done this event before or anything like it? What does success look like for you if you're, after the event and you look back, it's great because this happened or that happened.
Right.
And for some, it's just a fundraiser and they just need to make as much money as possible, which is, then you know what your objective is. And every decision you make in that event is how to maximize the net revenue. Or maybe it's more about, I really want to make sure people are connected. So it's like, okay, how can we share information and what sort of activities or what kind of formats can we put together that will get people talking or sharing information or, connecting with each other as opposed to just listening to a speaker say off the top. So it all depends on the client's specific objective and goals for the event, and that's paramount. And then once you take that, then a good event planner either has the ability or brings into their team people with the ability to manage both sides of the creative process, because one side is creative, and you have to be able to do that. You have to be able to design marketing or design a concept, design a room, or elicit a certain emotion or feeling, because we all know people will forget what you say or do, but they won't forget how you make them feel.
Absolutely.
But you still have to be able to manage the money side. You have to be able to create very detailed spreadsheets or systems or documents that walk you through the steps and get you through that ability to get from point A to Z in some cases. So you really do have to find somebody that either has within them, like myself, the ability to ride both sides of that scope, or you need to find that ability to surround yourself with people that can help with both sides. So that it is a balanced event. It doesn't matter how pretty it is if the client lost money, or it doesn't matter, how pretty the centerpieces are if the schedule to get the centerpieces there wasn't put together properly. So it's very much a balance, and that's something that I've always had. I have a history in finance and account management and financial management, but I also have my theater side. So that's what makes me unique, is the ability to be a master of all trades, not just a jack of all.
Right, and that's a key thing. I mean, you were saying is the fact that you've run these enormous events. I mean, the Honda Festival of Lights, the New Year's Eve festivals. You need to have a team, and you need to know where to go and where your Rolodex is to be able to bring in the right people for the right time to do the right thing, because none of us can do this by ourselves.
Right.
And what I do and what you do and what a lot of really good people do is we realize what our strengths are, what our weaknesses are, and we align ourselves and we support ourselves with people that augment our strengths and make us better. And it's being that point person that people say, you know what, don't worry, just talk to Heather. She'll take care of everything. You know, she'll make sure that the lighting is right. She'll make sure that the decorations look right. She'll make sure that the band is there. She'll make sure that the speakers are perfect, because she's got a Rolodex full of people that she can rely on at any given time to pull it all together.
Well, exactly. That Rolodex is, you know, my biggest corporate asset, if you will, in that I've been in this industry for 30 years. So there isn't a supplier that I haven't worked with, or, contact that I can't find with, a connection or two. And that's very true. Like, I mean, if I'm not a marketing expert, I don't necessarily, although I have a great general knowledge about branding and messaging and some of it, I'm not that expert at it. So I would need somebody like yourself to assist with, helping to create that story or create a brand for an event, which is very key as well. So, whether that's brand marketing, I surround myself with great people, or, an expert in audio engineering that can, take the Sarah McLachlans of the world, or the Dalai Lama or somebody like that, and actually, make it world class. Or, I'm creative, but I don't know the current trends in table centers. So I can surround myself with great decor people and bring them in. And that Rolodex and who you know is far more important than what you know.
Yeah, because by you focusing it on the weeds is not the best utilization of your time or your talents. I mean, it's far better for you to sit there and say, listen, these people specialize in table centers. That's what they do.
Yeah.
Bring them to the table. Sorry. Bring them to the table. Bring the people to the table that are going to make you shine and make your customers shine. And it's worth it for, a customer to have one point person, instead of them having to say, okay, I need to go hire an audio person and a visual person and a table center person and, somebody to arrange my speakers for me and this and that and everything. No, having one person who can make sure that all the balls stay in the air at the same time and knows how to juggle them is a big deal. That's the skill. And that's what a lot of people don't realize, the real value of dealing with a great event planner.
Well, absolutely. And that's a lot of the case for a lot of the entrepreneurs and freelance people out there, is that we're a bit of a cat herding sort of mentality, is that, we've got all these little pieces. We've just got to, move them forward. And, it takes a lot of time. I pride myself on my communication. I am a expedited responder. I know how to connect people. I do that efficiently, and I do it so that it's supportive of the end goal, and get weighed down with reply alls and that sort of idea. So there are some tricks and tips that that I utilize in communications to help make them efficient, and that manages to pull together people. And it's okay to say I don't know, but only when it's followed with, but I'll find out. And that's the key.
And that's the powerful phrase. It's the, I don't know, let me find out for you. Or let me check with somebody who does.
Yeah.
That makes you valuable. The I don't know and walking away does nothing to build your brand, does nothing to endear you to anybody.
Well, I do that even when I'm talking to volunteers, because every single person on an event site is representing that brand, as you well know, Ben, right? It's not just one person, and it's not just a logo, and it's not just a website.
No.
You've got to walk the walk and talk the talk. And I remember that was very important when I was at TELUS. Every terminology that we used surrounding events anyway, echoed the brand promise of the future is friendly. We didn't execute events, we activated events. We didn't have a war room, we had a production office. There was we didn't have a crew, we had, a team. And it may seem simple, but words become reality, right?
No, verbiage is important.
Absolutely. The language,
using words to your advantage is huge, and especially when you're dealing with brand.
Yes.
Because that's the difference between people understanding your value and misinterpreting your value.
Well, they're walking and living your brand, and not just, paying it lip service, right? because that's the key. And as I was saying, you know, when we had volunteers or any staff or anybody on an event site, and part of the orientation process that you know, that I've built up is, you know, you go through the, you know, this is the role and responsibilities, and these are the safety, and you'd go through these sort of orientation things. But it's very important to talk to everybody on your team, especially on brand, or, you know, in a more corporate environment. Everybody in your office has to be rowing the same direction. You talk to them about them being brand ambassadors. That every time they're out and they say, you know, yeah, I work for ABC company, you are representing the brand. You know,
that day you do work for the brand, whether you're a volunteer, whether you're you know, you work for some other company or whatever. When you're on site, you represent the brand.
Yes. Yeah. And little things like, you know, okay, you go volunteer at some, you know, community festival, and what do? They give you a t-shirt, right? And that t-shirt says that you are representing the event and the brand, right?
That's right.
And then how many times do we see people that are still wearing the t-shirt, but they go to the bar later and it's like, no, that's not the brand. So we had very strict rules on event sites that, you know, you're welcome to stay and enjoy, but you must take off the volunteer t-shirt.
Absolutely. Yeah, because the last thing you need is somebody getting drunk, belligerent, wearing, you know, a brand shirt.
Oh, yeah. Be careful what, you know, swag you give your employees, or
let's call it promotional marketing. Let's not call it swag.
Let's do that, right?
There we go.
Well, events people tend to tend to use that term, but you're right. It really is promoting the brand and promoting the message and the feel, and that's a whole other interview about brands on events. But you know, you have to be very careful as to what's on that, and be very educational to people as to when and how to represent that, and how many people get, you know, branded attire to represent their company, and then you see them wear it out in their social life, and it's like, be careful of that. So.
Listen, people have been fired for wearing, you know, branded material outside of the work thing and saying things that they shouldn't have been saying. They got caught on videotape, and guess what? They're no longer working for companies anymore.
Well, yeah, we see that in the corporate world in the news, right? All the people that lost their jobs based on how they were representing themselves in private. So, yeah, it's a careful thing something to be careful of, for sure. And you know, your brand is everything. And I would like to say, and you know, it's not about what you say your brand is, it's what other people say behind your back. I think I got that from you, Ben, is your brand is what people say when you're not around.
Absolutely.
So I'd like to think that my brand illustrates a positive and passionate energy for the events world. I love what I do. Cool. And there's so many people in the event world that, you know, seem to be very grudgingly in the industry. I mean, you can't complain about the long hours and the, you know, the tough gigs or whatever they are, because that's
the industry you're in.
Absolutely. If you don't like it, you can go do
find another industry.
Go serve coffee or whatever you want to do.
Exactly.
Find something that you are passionate about. But I love
Starbucks is always hiring.
Yeah. yeah. It seems that they are. But I love what I do. And I bring that passion and positivity to the events that I work on, and hopefully to people that work with me that feel that as well. So I'd like to say that is, you know, my brand, my value add is that you get that, as well as, you know, the 30 years in expertise and everything else, the Rolodex and everything else that comes with it.
Perfect. Well, you almost answered my final question, but I'm going to ask it anyway, and you can see if you can augment your answer.
Okay.
My last question I ask every guest is, when you walk out of a meeting, when you close the door behind you, you get in your car and you drive away, what's the one thing you want people to think about you when you're not in the room?
Wow. That's a very interesting way to put it, but yeah, let me think on that. I would love the conversation to go something like this. Mm-hmm. Wow, she is awesome. She has so much. passion and energy for what she's doing, and with her history, expertise, her awards, her Rolodex, we've got to have her. We want her doing our events, part of our team, on an ongoing basis. We love her. How do we get her on board? That's what I want them to say.
Perfect. And how do people do that? They know that they feel your energy, and they know that when they're in your hands, they're being taken care of. And,
absolutely.
And that's your brand, and that's who you are, and that's what you've built over the years, and we thank you for it.
Thank you, Ben.
All right, Heather, hang out in the green room. I'm just going to say goodbye to everybody, and I'll be right there. Hi, everybody. I hope you enjoyed listening to Heather and I talk. Heather is passionate about event planning. She's detail-oriented. She has vision, and she really wants to work with you guys. It's about understanding what makes companies unique, and that's what this show is about. It's about differentiation. It's about understanding that no matter what you do or who you are, you're not a commodity. There's something about what you do and how you do it that is unique and special to your audience. And when that audience understands that, they're going to find you valuable. And when they find you valuable, margins go up. It's really that simple. Now, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, this is me. It's YourBrandMarketing.com. We would love to talk to you. We want to find out what makes you special, what makes you different, and help you communicate that differentiation in a way that your clients understand it, engage with it, and want to do business with you. Join us next Wednesday at 10 o'clock in the morning, Pacific time, on the YourLivingBrand.live show. Thanks a lot, and have a great day.